Marilyn Manson drops lawsuit against former fiancée Evan Rachel Wood. Marilyn Manson has agreed to drop a defamation lawsuit against his former fiancée Evan Rachel Wood, lawyers for both have said. The musician has also agreed to pay Wood's legal fees of almost $327,000. In 2020, the Westworld actress publicly claimed the rocker, whose real name is Brian Warner, sexually and physically abused her during their relationship. Manson, 55 years old, filed a lawsuit in 2022, saying the claims were fabricated and had derailed his career. A Los Angeles County judge threw out several key sections of the suit the following year. Now, the rocker's lawyer Howard King has said in a statement, after 4 years of fighting a battle where he was able to tell the truth, Brian is pleased to dismiss his still pending claims and appeal in order to close the door on this chapter of his life. Manson was initially appealing the judge's decision, but his legal team contacted Wood's attorneys seeking a settlement in the spring, according to the Associated Press news agency. The actress, 37 years old, rejected requests that the terms be kept confidential, her lawyers said. Manson filed a lawsuit against Ms. Wood as a publicity stunt to try to undermine the credibility of his many accusers and revive his faltering career, Wood's lawyer Michael J. Kump said in a statement. But his attempt to silence and intimidate Ms. Wood failed. Wood and Manson confirmed their relationship in 2007, with the couple getting engaged in 2010. However, they called off the relationship just 7 months later. The settlement comes nearly 4 years into a criminal investigation of Manson involving several women. Manson has denied engaging in any non-consensual sexual acts. In October, outgoing LA County District Attorney George Gaskin said his office's Sex Crimes Division was carefully reviewing new leads and additional evidence and that they wanted to have a complete picture before making a decision on whether to file charges. Abandoned Cold War military base rediscovered buried under 100 feet of ice. NASA scientists have rediscovered a long-lost city buried under 100 feet of ice, 58 years after it was abandoned as a U.S. base during the Cold War. Camp Century, built in 1959 in northwest Greenland, was a never-completed secret launch site for ballistic missiles to reach the Soviet Union. As ice began to crush the site, the U.S. abandoned the project and left the camp, which could have expanded to 33 bases, to be slowly lost to the elements. That's until NASA scientist Chad Green, helped by agency expert Alex Gardner, flew over Greenland in April this year to map ice sheets and estimate future sea level rise. "We were looking for the bed of the ice and out pops Camp Century. We didn't know what it was at first," said Mr. Gardner, describing how their radar-detecting structures appeared to align with tunnels built in the base. While the presence of the base has been known for years and has been detected previously, NASA said the new mapping shows structures in a way that they've never been seen before. Officially, Camp Century was created to test subice construction techniques, but the real plan was top secret, creating a hidden launch site in case of conflict with the Soviets. It was abandoned in 1966, but what the U.S. left behind, an estimated 200,000 liters of diesel oil and sewage, has caused a row over the cleanup. Greenland has previously called on Denmark, which owns the land, to take responsibility, arguing the Danes agreed to the deal in the first place. Towards the end of his first term in office, President-elect Donald Trump said he was interested in buying Greenland from Denmark, describing it as essentially a large real estate deal. With Greenland's ice sheet melting, the land beneath may reveal gold, rubies, diamonds, coppers, olivine, marble, and oil. Melting means previously out-of-reach energy and minerals are now more accessible, but climate change-driven sea level rise poses an increasing risk to coastal communities around the world. Germany making list of bomb shelters for new app as tensions with Russia rise. Germany is drawing up a list of bunkers for a new app to help civilians find emergency shelter amid increasing tensions with Russia. Residents are also being encouraged to turn garages and basements into bomb shelters as part of a new review of suitable locations. Underground car parks, train stations, and government buildings could also be converted, while a special app is being developed to help direct people to their nearest shelter during an emergency, according to the German Interior Ministry. A government spokesperson did not make any reference to the potential threat from Russia or other nations, and also did not reveal when the project would be ready. Bild newspaper, which first reported on the so-called bunker plan, said officials were working on the project in response to the worsening international threat. Civil protection organizations in Germany have been calling for a faster expansion of shelters, including structures which can quickly and safely accommodate 5,000 people. Germany is said to currently have 579 public shelters with capacity for around 480,000 people. The country has been increasingly focused on defense on its own soil since Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February 2022 raised fears of a wider escalation on the European continent. Under Operation Plan Germany, the federal and state governments, army, security authorities, and emergency services are working together on how to defend the country in the event of a conflict. Earlier this week, a top NATO military official urged businesses to prepare for a wartime scenario and adjust their production and distribution lines accordingly, in order to be less vulnerable to blackmail from countries such as Russia and China. Google could be forced to sell its Chrome browser. Google must sell its Chrome browser to restore competition in the online search market, U.S. prosecutors have argued. The proposed breakup has been floated in a 23-page document filed by the U.S. Justice Department. It also calls for lawmakers to impose restrictions designed to prevent its Android smartphone software from favoring its own search engine. If the rules were brought in, it would essentially result in Google being highly regulated for 10 years. Google controls about 90% of the online search market and 95% on smartphones. Court papers filed on Wednesday expand on an earlier outline for what prosecutors argued would dilute that monopoly. Google called the proposals radical at the time, saying they would harm U.S. consumers and businesses and shake American competitiveness in AI. The company has said it will appeal. The U.S. Department of Justice, DOJ, and a coalition of states want U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta to end exclusive agreements in which Google pays billions of dollars annually to Apple and other device vendors to be the default search engine on their tablets and smartphones. Google will have a chance to present its own proposals in December. A trial on the proposals has been set for April, however, President-elect Donald Trump and the DOJ's next antitrust head could step in. Earth's mini-moon to disappear for 30 years. A so-called mini-moon that has been floating around Earth for 2 months will soon disappear. The harmless space rock, which scientists say could be a boulder that was blasted off the actual moon, was first spotted in August. Known as 2024 PT5, the rock began to partially circle Earth in a horseshoe-shaped path in September, but NASA has clarified that it never fully entered orbit. Astrophysicist brothers, Raúl and Carlos de la Fuente Marcos, from Complutense University of Madrid, first identified the asteroid's mini-moon behavior. It is expected to peel away from the Earth on Monday as it is overcome by the stronger pull of the Sun's gravity. It will not reappear again until 2055. Data suggests that during its next visit in around 30 years, the Sun-circling asteroid will once again make a temporary and partial lap around Earth. On its return, it will be moving more than double its current speed, Mr. Marcos said. Currently more than 2 million miles away, the rock is too small and faint to see without a powerful telescope. The Marcos brothers have used telescopes in the Canary Islands to observe the asteroid hundreds of times. NASA said it would track the asteroid for more than a week in January, when it is expected to make a brief reappearance using the Goldstone Solar System radar antenna in California's Mojave Desert, part of the Deep Space Network. $63,339 reward offered in hunt for rare early Scottish coins stolen in 2007. A $63,339 reward is being offered over the unsolved theft of a batch of early Scottish coins that were stolen 17 years ago. More than 1,000 coins from the 12th and 13th centuries were taken from the home of Lord and Lady Stewartby in Broughton, near Peebles in the Scottish borders, in June 2007. The stolen haul spans a period of almost 150 years, from around 1136 when the first Scottish coins were minted during the reign of David I up to around 1280 and the reign of Alexander III. The late Lord Stewartby entrusted the remainder of his collection to the Hunterian Museum at the University of Glasgow in 2017, but the missing coins have never been found. Crime Stoppers announced its maximum reward of $25,335, which is available for 3 months until February 27 in a fresh appeal on Wednesday. An anonymous donor is helping to boost the total reward amount to $63,339. It is hoped it will prompt people to come forward with information which could lead to the recovery of the missing treasures and the conviction of those responsible for the crime. Angela Parker, national manager at Crime Stoppers Scotland, said Lord Stewartby's haul was the best collection of Scottish coins ever assembled by a private individual. Jesper Eriksson, curator of numismatics at the Hunterian, described the medieval coins as smaller than a modern penny. He added, portraits of kings and inscriptions may be worn down to almost nothing, and the coins might be oddly shaped, perhaps even cut in half or quarters. You could fit 1,000 into a plastic takeaway container, so they don't take up a lot of space. They may look unremarkable, but these coins are the earliest symbols of Scotland's monetary independence. They are of truly significant national importance. Their safe return will not only benefit generations of scholars, researchers, students, and visitors to come, but will also right a wrong that Lord Stewartby never got to see resolved before he died. Lady Stewartby said her husband, who was a renowned numismatist, was just 5 years old when he was given his first Scottish coin. She added, over the next 50 years, he put together a collection which included some of the earliest Scottish coins. Lord Stewartby told me and our children that they represented Scotland's history at a time when few people had access to books or pictures.